Back in the year 6, the first caveman wrote the first fad diet book. It was called Fruit and Worms, Please. And he went on to make a lot of rocks. The people were paid in rocks back then. And then his brother wrote a diet book to contradict everything that was in that book, saying no worms. We don't need it. We've been confused ever since, but I will help 10 confused people today.
He's in the ocean. He's in the ocean.
So whenever I see an interesting comment, I'm gonna save a screenshot of it, and when I have 10 of them, I make a video like this. Answer 10 questions. If you have a dying question, please do subscribe to the Puntriot? Oh, that vegan brain fog is real. The Patreon Q&A episode. Dignity intact. Was that your question? Real question, please address what these carry freaks, did you mean carny freaks? You sick freak. Are saying about greens are full of poisons. In my opinion, the carnivores need to latch onto something. They need to have a reason that their diet's working, and their only reason so far is that there's anti-nutrients in plants and that's what's hurting you. I agree to a certain extent in like the grains and beans, nuts and seeds for some people. Like these are dense, they're hard, like they're not meant to be eaten. A seed, like a nut, it wants to grow into a tree, so it's like protective. You have to go through hoops, soaking it, sprouting it, blending it, fermenting it. Even then, it doesn't work in my body, really. So, but greens? Come on now. Oxalates? I just drank a bucket of oxalates. I feel fantastic. All the high oxalate foods are kidney tonics. Proven. Cranberries. Super high oxalates. Like, don't worry about it. Just because there's oxalates doesn't mean that they're going to remove all calcium from a food. It's just like spinach is high in calcium and oxalates. And so people will say, oh, you can't absorb any calcium from oxalates. In my opinion, as I cut away from whatever that was with the brain fog, absorbing calcium from oxalates, hopefully no one noticed it. You can. Oxalates inhibit some of it. In my opinion, it's doing the right thing so you don't absorb too much calcium. It's just like regulating it, not inhibiting all of it. I can feel my bones strengthening with every bite of spinach. I'll tell you that much. Take it to the bank. So like all these poisons and greens, not a problem. Like rotate your greens anyway. But like I'm having celery every day with the juice. Lots of oxalates. Kidneys functioning highest they've ever. On a serious note, why the greens though? It's not human food. If you're just eating it, I would say you might be right. It's not very delicious, but in my juice, it's fantastic. I love sucking up the minerals and it tastes good. Like I do it just for the taste, but also the hydration, the bowel flushing capabilities. There's nutrients in there. We could use some of them. Super high in minerals that the fruit is lacking. Do you ensure you are eating enough probiotic and prebiotic foods? I do. I don't know that I've ever felt a difference from doing it. I'm making sauerkraut right now. I'm trying without the chili pepper this time. I got one jar with just oregano and then one with a tiny bit of black pepper. And hopefully they don't go moldy. I'll let you know how that goes, but I eat them like the coconut kefir. Is it helping? Like you think they should? I don't know. And prebiotics, like all fruits and vegetables are prebiotics pretty much. You don't have to go out of your way to get the best one. Like leeks show up on a lot of lists. Like you don't need to eat these things. Leeks are disgusting. Try biting one. In my experience, the two best times my gut has ever felt two different diets was the juice fast, 0 fiber, and the carnivore diet, 0 fiber. That's just talking pain, bloating, gas. Everything just felt good in here, even though I had crazy mud baths of diarrhea on that carnivore diet, but it didn't hurt. So diarrhea that's friendly is a good thing, unless you die of dehydration. How do you stay slim on a raw vegan diet? I must have different genetics. I've never seen somebody have problems on a raw vegan diet because there's so much water content and fiber, unless you're eating raw gourmet with all the nuts and mixing it with fat and fruit together. If you're just doing like vegetable juices, mono fruit meals, some smoothies, you should be fine. A big salad with like a little bit of fat. You don't see it. Like the raw vegans, we're always made fun of for being, not that I'm a raw vegan anymore, but we're made fun of for being skinny, like too skinny. It's very hard to even gain anything on a fruit-based diet. You just feel that satiation. There's only so much you can eat. So I don't know what style you're doing, but like if you're not eating any cooked food at all, you should just slim down till you get too skinny. Unless you're binge eating uncontrollably for emotional reasons and you're trying to suppress something and you're just packing it in with like dried dates and those date coconut rolls or something. Like, you could overeat, but try to listen. Just eat enough and then stop. But honestly, I don't feel satiated on a raw vegan diet. I was pretty satiated with all the grains, but it's like bloating, gas. It doesn't work. Have you ever done blood or other tests? I'd be so curious for your insulin after fruit meals and long-term glucose. Open mouth face. It's not a problem in my experience. I've tested blood sugar a lot. I still have, I think, a couple strips, but they're all expired. I don't know. I think they're still accurate. I think that's a scam that they expire. Oh, they no longer, you better spend another $80 for some strips. I don't know, man. Like, when I eat a fruit meal, I'm good to go. I just go. I have tons of energy for hours. Like, I drink that smoothie and I go for these long nature walks, like a 3-hour walk sometimes, and I'm getting the wildlife footage, and it's just so fun. Like, I don't get these spikes anymore, but I used to. And I don't know, it's not a problem. When you eat carbohydrate-rich foods, your insulin spikes. That's how it's supposed to happen. You get all the sugar, insulin, boom, drive it into the cell. It's like, that's how our bodies work. Some people are so obsessed with these little metrics, and they're like, I need to get insulin as low as possible, never eat sugar ever. And then it's like, what are you doing? Like, fruit is yummy in the summer. Just eat it, you freak. Why don't you try the Pyridine protein and aminos? It's a little bit more expensive, but is raw and easy to digest. It doesn't taste that good, but it doesn't have bad ingredients. I looked it up. So if you saw my little pea protein rant, all pea proteins are like soaked in a salt or a baking soda, something, and they soak up that salt, and then they're super high in sodium, and I was getting addicted to it. I was getting puffy. What the hell? I got a phone call. So what was I saying? I was getting like puffy eyes, like I was getting the salt symptoms, a little thirsty after this smoothie. So it's like, salt is an addict food for crackheads. It's not good. It's not healthy. We don't need it. Every time I make a video like this saying salt is bad, I get addicts in the comments saying, it's fine, we need it. I swear we need it. You need it. You're a freak. If you want the ultimate hydration, best health, no salt whatsoever. Drink celery juice. We need sodium. Stop telling me that we need sodium. I'm not a moron. I know that. We don't need salt ever, though. So lose Pyridine, same shit. High sodium. It's like, he doesn't tell you. He doesn't tell you that he soaks his peas in the salt. Why not? It's never in there. It's like, there's so much done to our food. That's why you can't trust a damn thing. You go buy meat in the store, it's like you don't know that it was monkey blood injected, antibiotics. Even the good stuff, it's like, oh, we did give it some medication. Sorry, he had the sniffles. Cow sniffles. It was so cute. But we gave him meds for it. It's like, there's hidden shit everywhere. I just don't like that there isn't transparency. Be honest with me. I'm trying to avoid salt. Like, Lou thinks salt is healthy. He sprinkles some Himalayan salt and he looks better than I do, and he's like 90 years old. So like, listen to him, not me. I get it. But man, I'm on the salt is bad train. So that's what I want, and if I don't want to consume salt, tell me if there's any in your product. Don't lie to me. What calisthenics exercise would be good for a lady starting out? In the Monkey Strength program, we have a specially designed program that's for beginners. Anybody, it doesn't matter, lady or not. You're not going to bulk up. Have you ever seen me bulk up? Maybe a little on the keto when I was like, shred town. But like, you can't bulk up with this stuff. Just start at the beginner exercises. Like, that's the easiest, and then you build up your joint strength. Like, you're doing wall push-ups, 50 of those, 3 sets. It's like, start slow, it's gotcha. That's what I would do. Calisthenics in general is just the easiest on the joints in my opinion until you get to the one-armed movements if you're not ready for it. Like I hurt my shoulder doing those one-arm push-ups for my ego. I wanted to get that thing and I did it and I wasn't ready for it and my right shoulder hurt from it and it's still a little weird. But for the most part, it doesn't get in the way of anything I do. I don't feel it. It's just I don't do those handstand push-ups because it was hurting me. So be careful. Go slow, and that's what the Monkey Strength program tells you to do, so follow its advice, unlike me. Don't let your ego get in the way. Why did you stop weed? I used to be a pothead for 14 years. I started really young. I used to smoke it with tobacco. That's what I loved, and that's why my lungs are effed, and that's why I'm a moron. It just, my brain felt slower than it is now. This is me clear off the weed. Imagine me on it. So that's probably still in here, little remnants of Mary Jane, just in the brain. It's like, and for a while I needed it for pain. I was telling myself, I was like, yeah, I felt, you could feel, I have gut tension. It's like always kind of tense. Whenever I smoke weed, it just relaxes. Oh, wow. And it's just like, it helped with the pain a bit when I had colitis. So once I got off all meds and like I was doing the raw vegan stuff, I didn't need it for pain anymore. So I figured I'd just stop. And then I did. I was like a health nut. You can't be a health nut and smoke weed. Like, yes, it's natural, but you're combusting smoke and inhaling it. It's terrible. Like, make a tea or something. Do something else. The CBD, that doesn't get you high. I have a question for you, you raccoon hater. Why am I a raccoon hater? Because I didn't dive in that dumpster the one time. I didn't know that's what I was supposed to do. I didn't even think that they could have been trapped in there. I'm a moron. But yeah, apparently they can get trapped. And then you have to get them out and risk the scratchings of thanks. Do you think we can live for 1,000 years or longer? Only thanks to a diet, vegan, carnivore, low carb, high fat, mix of them all, and a lifestyle. For example, fasting, cold exposure, semen retention, meditations, high intensity training, no stress. I don't know, like in the Bible, I'm reading all this like, and then he was 846 years old and he died when he was 917. He had his first child when he was 340. Like, I don't know if that's accurate. I like to imagine, like, we definitely don't have to die as early as we're dying now. People are dropping in their 50s from heart attacks. Like, that's bullshit. We should be at least like 150. I don't know about the 1,000, maybe. There's tales of people that are like 240, and I don't know if they're real. Everybody lies to everybody. You can't trust a damn thing. Nobody knows what our history really was. So who knows? Maybe. But definitely longer than we're doing now. Alright, last question. Have you heard about metabolic typing? It's the only diet-related science that makes somewhat sense and has measurable results. Discovered by Wolcott and Dr. Kelly. And then you went on to write 700 books. It's the same shit as the blood type diet, in my opinion. I think I bought that Wolcott's book because I was curious. It said like, oh, avoid certain things. I'm on this vegan diet. I'm not feeling great. And I'm like, maybe this is why. My blood type says don't eat oranges. I've been eating oranges. That's why. I didn't notice a damn thing. I eliminated all his no foods and ate more of the yes foods. And I don't think any of this stuff is real. Like metabolic type. Are we that different? I don't think so. I just think some of us have damage, gut damage, like me, and I can't handle certain like grains because I can't digest them. It's not because I'm a type O and I need meat. It's not that I'm eating meat now and feel much better. That's silly. That's stupid. I would never do that. So like, I just don't believe in it. We're not different enough to require like completely different diets. You look at zebras, they're all eating grass. Robins, they're all eating worms. Some of them stay behind and stay fruitarian. If you've seen my Instagram, subscribe to the Instagram down below. I post bird related content. So I've answered you somewhat respectably, and thank you for watching and thumbing up the video, of course. How could you continue to do this? The answers are right in front of us, aren't they? You're doing it because you once asked a store manager if he could get you a stronger plastic bag because the last one ripped while you were carrying home non-essential items that you weren't even allowed to buy, like crossword puzzles. Those are non-essential now. The government said so. I bought a huge bag of quinoa. It broke as I was buying it. Like, she put it on the scale and then she broke it and it spilled everywhere because my organic shop wants these compostable bags. These are made, they keep breaking. I've seen it happen to other customers. Oh, sorry. This just broke. Doing the right thing for the environment is never the answer. I'll leave. You subscribing? Ask a question down below. I might miss it. I probably will. I get sick of y'all. When there's the debates going and the video's too controversial and people are shouting, no, go vegan, eat meat, oh no. It's like, okay, take a break from that. So if you have a dying question, Patreon down below. I'll leave. Subscribing?